Be still, my child, before you hear another word. I need you to stop the motion of this day because I did not let this message find you by accident. Heaven has paused everything to reach you tonight. I have tried to reach you before this, and you know it, even if you have never said it out loud. The small whispers you could not explain. The nudge that came in the middle of an ordinary afternoon and would not leave. The dreams that felt too real to be only dreams. The ones you woke from with your heart already awake and your face already wet before you understood why. The song that came on at the wrong moment and undid you in a parking lot when you had planned to hold yourself together. The stranger's passing word that landed somewhere far too deep for a stranger to reach. Those nights you sat up wide awake at an hour with no name, certain that something was shifting and unable to say what. You called it stress. You called it worry. You called it a tired mind carrying too much. You reached for every explanation except the true one, because the true one asks something of you. But it was me, my child, reaching across the noise of your life for a door that kept closing. So tonight I guarded this hour myself. I stood at the gate of it and let nothing else through, so that you could not miss me the way you have missed me before. Something in you slowed the moment your eyes fell here. That was not curiosity, that was recognition, arriving before your mind had words for it. And if there is a quiet tug in your chest right now, my beloved, a small pull that was not there a minute ago, I do not want you to explain it away. That is not nothing, my child. That is the part of you that already knew this was coming, finally allowed to be still. Most of the people scrolling past tonight will never reach these words, my beloved, you did. That was not chance, my child. That was already decided before you pressed play. Type "I am listening" in the comments. Not as a courtesy, and not because it is polite. Type it as the first honest answer your spirit has given me in a long while. Because when you say it out loud, the part of you that has been half asleep finally hears itself wake. Now hear why I came, my beloved. Because I did not come empty, and I did not come only to comfort you. I have come carrying two words tonight, and I need you to hold both of them. Because if you take only one, you will walk away with half of what heaven sent. The first is a hard word. It is a word of correction, and I will not soften it. Because love that softens the truth is not love. It is fear wearing love's coat. The second is a promise, and it is greater than anything you have dared to ask me for. Greater than the small, careful hope you have allowed yourself in the honest hours. Both are true, my child. Both are for you, and both of them require you to stay with me all the way to the end of this hour, my beloved, because the promise sits on the other side of the correction, and there is no path to it that goes around. My tone will be firm tonight, my child, and I do not want you to mistake the firmness for anger at you. A father who watches his child walk toward a cliff and says nothing, so that the evening will stay pleasant, does not love that child. He loves his own comfort more. I am not that kind of father. I love you too much to stay silent. Before you go any further, stay close to me. If my voice is reaching you right now, follow this channel and turn on the reminder so that when I speak again, you will not miss the moment. You have waited too long to walk away right when I am beginning to answer. So let me speak the hard word first, my child, and let me speak it plainly. You made a choice your own heart warned you against, my child. There was a moment, my beloved, and you remember it even now, when something in you went quiet and said do not, and you did anyway. You crossed a line you knew was there, because you had felt it there for a long time, and heaven saw it. I am not telling you this to frighten you. I am telling you because you have been carrying it alone in the dark, and a thing carried alone in the dark grows teeth. It never really had. Heaven saw it, and heaven recorded it, and the record is honest, my beloved. But the record is not your enemy. Type "I hear your voice" in the comments, because I would rather you answer me now, while I am still speaking gently, than flinch away and pretend this word was meant for someone else. Now understand how it happened, my child, because you have blamed the wrong part of yourself for it. It did not begin with your hands. It never begins with the hands. It began with a thought, my beloved, a single thought that came to you one day and did not carry my peace with it. You felt that, even then, there was no rest in it, no stillness, only a kind of heat, a leaning forward that felt like wanting. And instead of turning that thought away at the door the way you would have turned away a stranger who meant you harm, you gave it a room. You let it stay the night. And a thought given a room does not stay a thought. It becomes a leaning. The leaning becomes a decision. The decision becomes an act. And that act, my beloved, opened a door in the unseen realm that should have stayed shut. A door you did not even know you were standing in front of. You felt the cold draft come through it afterward, that unsettling in your spirit that has not fully left you since. The sense that something was slightly wrong that you could not locate on any map. The way your prayers began to feel like they were bouncing off a low ceiling. The way a certain kind of joy stopped reaching you all the way, as though it arrived at the door of your heart and could not quite get in. You blamed your circumstances for that. You blamed the people around you, the season, the weather of your own mind. But it was the draft, my child. It was air moving through a door that was never meant to be open. And you have been living in that draft so long you began to think the cold was simply who you are. It is not who you are. It is a door, and a door can be shut. No one falls all at once. Hear me on this, my beloved, because the enemy has told you that you are a special kind of failure, and it is a lie. No one falls all at once, my child. They drift, by small degrees, each one small enough to explain away, each one reasonable in the moment. And the reasonable moments add up quietly until a person looks up one day and does not recognize the road they are standing on. That is what happened to you, not a collapse. A drift. And my anger tonight is real. I will not pretend it is not. But I need you to hear exactly where it is aimed. It is not aimed at you. It is aimed at the path. It is aimed at the thing that reached for you in that quiet, heated moment and handed you a thought without peace. It is aimed at the slow ruin I saw waiting for you further down that road. The ruin you could not see because you were only looking at the next step. I do not raise my voice over things that mean nothing to me, my child. A man does not shout at the wolf that is circling a field he does not own. I am shouting because the field is mine. You are corrected tonight because you are valued, not in spite of it. Type "I turn back now" in the comments and say it like someone who has decided, not like someone still negotiating. And here is the first mercy inside the hard word, my beloved. So hear it before the weight settles too far. What you did, it did not do the things you have feared it did. It did not cancel your calling, my child. The assignment I wrote over your life before you were born is not erased by a wrong turn taken in the dark. It did not lower your worth by a single degree, because your worth was never built on your performance, and a thing not built on performance cannot be torn down by failure. And it did not make me love you less, not for one moment. Not in the hour you did it, and not in all the hours since when you were sure I must have finally turned my face. What it changed, my child, was your direction. That is all. Not your destiny, your direction, my beloved. And direction is exactly what I have come tonight to set right. But I have to warn you about the real danger now, my beloved, because it is not the mistake. The mistake is behind you, and it is small in my hands. The real danger standing in front of you tonight is pride. Pride will lean close to your ear right now and tell you that this word is for someone else. It will tell you that you are not the one I mean, that your situation is different, that you have already dealt with your version of this. That voice is the most dangerous thing in this room, my child, because it does not sound like rebellion. It sounds reasonable. And the heaviness you are feeling as I speak, I want you to name it correctly, because everything depends on how you read it. It is not condemnation. Condemnation says you are the problem and leaves you standing in it with no way out. What you are feeling is conviction, and conviction is a mercy. Condemnation is a fog, my beloved. It has no edges. It tells you that everything about you is wrong and gives you nothing to hold, so you drown in a general shame that has no exit. Conviction is a hand, not a fog. It points at one thing, one specific thing, and says, deal with this, only this, and I will walk you through it. And when it is dealt with, you will be free. The enemy loves the fog because a person lost in fog never takes a single step. I have come with the hand tonight. I am pointing at one door, my child. not at the whole of who you are. Type "I release the excuse" in the comments, because pride has fed you excuses for a long time, and the moment you name one out loud, it stops being a reason and becomes what it always was. Let me remind you of a man who fell far harder than you have, my beloved, a shepherd who became a king, a man after my own heart. And even he took what was not his and then covered it, layered one wrong over another to hide the first. For a while he said nothing. He carried it the way you have been carrying yours. But when my word finally cornered him, when the prophet stood in front of him and named it, he did not argue. He did not build a case. He did not explain the pressures that led to it. He said 4 words. 2 Samuel 12 verse 13 records them. And David said unto Nathan, I have sinned against the Lord. And Nathan said unto David, The Lord also hath put away thy sin. 4 words, my child, and a broken honesty that his whole crown could never have purchased. That is all I am looking for from you tonight. Not a performance of sorrow, not tears arranged for an audience, just the plain truth spoken once, without a single excuse attached to the end of it. So let me show you the way back, my beloved, because I do not name a wound without bringing the medicine in the same hand. There are 3 steps, and they are not heavy, though the first one costs the most. The first step is honesty with yourself, my child. Name what happened fully, all of it without one excuse fastened to the end of the sentence. Justification is a chain, my child, and it is the cruelest kind, because it wears the costume of comfort. It feels like mercy while it holds you. Every reason you attach to what you did is another link, and a person can spend years polishing the links and calling it peace. You have done this, my child. You have told yourself the story so many times, the version where you had no choice, the version where anyone would have done the same, the version where the fault was really theirs and you were only responding. And each telling felt like relief, but it was not relief. It was a link being forged. Set the excuses down, my beloved. Not because they contain no truth, but because a half-truth held in front of the whole truth is a wall. And I cannot heal what you will not fully look at. The second step is to turn your attention back to me deliberately, on purpose, not waiting to feel worthy first, because you will wait forever for that feeling, and it is not coming. And it was never meant to come, because worthiness was never the price of admission. Just come, my beloved. Be still in front of me the way you are being still right now. And as you come, feel the draft begin to fade. Feel the churning in your spirit go quiet by degrees. That quieting, my beloved, that is not your imagination. That is the sound of a door closing. That is my hand on the latch. The idea I want to place in your hands now is simple, my child. I am asking you to place a portion of what you have, something of real weight to you, into the ground of this work. Not because I need it. I own the cattle on 1,000 hills, and I have never once been short. I am asking because a hand that can release is a hand that can receive, and the whole of what I am teaching you tonight lives inside that one sentence. Remember the widow at the treasury. She had 2 small coins, all she owned in the world, and she gave them. And heaven has not stopped speaking of her since. It was never the amount, my beloved. It was the open hand. So sow a seed today through the link in the description below, as proof to your own spirit that your grip has finally opened. And if you have nothing to give tonight, do not force it, and do not feel the smallest shame, because the open hand matters more than the coin. And I see the posture long before I see the gift. Now the third step, my child. And this is the one you will want to skip, so do not skip it. Forgive yourself, my child. Guilt that lingers after true repentance is a weight I never asked you to carry. When you kneel and I lift the thing from you, and then you pick it back up on the way out the door and strap it to your back again, you are refusing a gift I already gave. If I have released you, my beloved, who are you to keep yourself in chains I have already broken? That is not humility. Humility agrees with me. Refusing my mercy is its own kind of pride, dressed in sackcloth so you cannot recognize it. Type I forgive myself in the comments, and mean it as an act of obedience, not a feeling you have to manufacture first. Because when you type it, You agree with the verdict heaven already handed down, and you stop punishing a person I have already pardoned. My child, do not walk this road alone. Follow this channel and join the ones who have kept their hearts open to me. Every time you return here, you are saying yes to me again, and I honor every heart that stays. Now let me draw a line for you that will keep you free long after tonight, my beloved, because you are about to misunderstand yourself, and I want to stop it before it starts. There is a difference between a mistake and a pattern, and the enemy wants you to confuse them. A mistake is a single stumble, my beloved, one misstep on a long walk. A pattern is a road walked so many times that the feet no longer ask where they are going. They simply go because the going has become who you are. What happened to you was a stumble, my child, but I will be honest, because I am always honest with the ones I love. I saw the pattern beginning to form underneath it. I saw the second thought that came easier than the first, and the third that barely asked permission, and that is exactly why I am pulling this one up now tonight, while the root is still shallow and comes out clean before it goes deep and takes half the ground with it. You are not on trial anymore, my beloved. Hear that. You are in training. A prisoner and a son can sit in the same waiting room, wearing the same tired face, feeling the same slow hours, but they are waiting for opposite things. A prisoner waits for time to pass so the sentence will end, and every hour is only endured. A son is being made ready for what comes next, and every hour is doing something in him. Same room, my child, same waiting, opposite meaning, and the difference is not in the room, it is in which one you believe you are. For years you have sat in the waiting of this season believing you were the prisoner, counting the hours as punishment. Sure, the delay was a sentence being served. You were never the prisoner, you are the son. This is not your sentence. This is your preparation. And that very door you felt the cold draft come through, my child. It is shut now, and my hand is on the latch, and it does not open again from your side or from theirs. Now let me teach you to know my voice, my child, because half of your drift happened simply because you could not tell mine from the noise. My voice is not hard to find, it is only easy to drown, so learn its marks, my child. The first mark is peace. My guidance always carries peace, though not always comfort. And those are not the same thing. When peace is present, you may move. When peace lifts, stop exactly where you stand, even if everything looks fine, even if the reasons all line up. Peace is a signal, my beloved. It is a watchman on the wall, and when the watchman goes quiet, you do not keep marching. You find out why. That is the mark you missed the last time. There was no peace in the thought, and you moved anyway because the wanting was louder than the watchman. Learn from it, my child. Peace leaving is not a small thing to push past. It is the first and clearest word I ever speak. The second mark is that my voice leads. It does not shove. I go before, and I call back over my shoulder, and I wait for you to follow of your own will, because I want sons who walk with me, not slaves I drag. That urgency that says now, quickly, before you have time to think it through, that pressure that will not let you pause and breathe and pray, that is almost never mine. The enemy needs you to hurry, because he cannot survive your reflection. What is true survives a pause, my child. What is true is still true in the morning, and in a week, and after you have prayed over it and slept on it, and looked at it in the daylight. So build the pause into your life like a wall you do not tear down. And let nothing that refuses to wait for the pause into your house, and guard the gate of your attention, my beloved, because everything that wants to enter your life first asks to enter your attention. Ask of each thing, does this leave me nearer to my Father or further from him? That one question would have turned you back at the door months ago. And that harsh voice inside you, the one that calls you a failure where I call you my child, the one that says you are too far gone now, answer it with what I say, and not with what it says. Discipline, my beloved, is not restriction. It is consistency. It is the slow, steady kind of growth. And the slow kind is the only kind that holds when the wind comes. Now I must change the weight of my voice, my child, because there is an accounting to name, and I will not name it with a tender tongue. There is no human villain standing in your story tonight. The one who set the trap does not have a face you would recognize on the street. It was the enemy of your soul. He is the one who handed you the thought without peace on that quiet, heated afternoon. He is the one who whispered that giving it a room would cost nothing. He is the one who worked the latch of that door in the unseen realm and hoped you would never notice the draft and understand his aim, because it was never the single act. His aim was to use your stumble against you, to take one wrong turn and build an entire verdict on it, to convince you that the mistake had disqualified you, and then to walk you slowly, quietly, one reasonable step at a time, down the road to the slow ruin I saw waiting at the end of it. That was the scheme. Now hear the accounting. The trap is exposed. It is named tonight, in the light, in front of you, and a trap seen is a trap already failing. The door he opened is shut. The scheme did not work, because the very correction he wanted to use to disqualify you is the proof that you are being refined for use and not thrown away. Isaiah 54 verse 17 stands over this whole matter. No weapon that is formed against thee shall prosper, and every tongue that shall rise against thee in judgment thou shalt condemn. This is the heritage of the servants of the Lord, and their righteousness is of me. The weapon was formed. I will not pretend it was not, but it shall not prosper. And it did not prosper, because I saw it before you felt it, and I have already answered it. This is my victory over his scheme, not your revenge over an enemy. You do not lift a hand. You only stay in the peace I am handing you, and let me close what is mine to close. You have been guarding what little you had for so long, my beloved, clutching it out of a fear that there would never be more. And that fear is part of the very pattern I am healing tonight, so loosen your grip. What you release in faith does not leave your life. It goes ahead of you into the harvest I am already preparing on the other side of this correction. Sow a seed through the link in the description below, not as a payment for anything, and never as a way to buy back my favor, because my favor was never for sale. Sow it as the first open-handed act of your new season, the first proof that the fist has become a hand again. There is no pressure in this, my child. There is only an invitation, and an invitation is a thing you are free to receive. Now let me speak to the years, my beloved, because you have read them wrong and the wrong reading has cost you. The delay you lived through was never absence, and it was never rejection. Your hidden years were not empty years, they were fallow years. A field left to rest through the winter is not a field being punished. It is a field doing the most important and most invisible work of its life, restoring underneath what the eye cannot see, so that when the planting comes it can bear a weight it could never have carried before. And a great house is built downward first, my child. The foundation goes deep into the dark long before a single wall rises into the light. And if you had walked past the site in those years, you would have said nothing was being built, when in truth, everything was. The doors that closed against you in that season were not rejections either. They were protection. I was on the other side of them, and I saw what stood waiting behind them, and I closed them with my own hand because I love you. Release the ones who ran past you while you waited. Each of them is being gathered at its own appointed time, and none of it was ever a race you lost. And hear this, my beloved, because heaven does not overlook it. You stayed, bent, questioning, tired, unsure many nights. Whether I was even listening, you stayed, and a faithfulness like that is never invisible to me. Type "I trust you" over the years in the comments, and say it as someone choosing to read the delay the way I have just read it to you. And now the fallow season is closing, my child. What I set in motion before you knew to ask for it is arriving at its appointed hour, and no hand can hold it back now, not the enemy's and not your own doubt. And this, my beloved, is exactly why the correction could not wait for a gentler day. A man may drift on a long flat road and lose very little because the road forgives him, but he must not drift at the bend, and you are at the bend. Everything is about to turn, and a small wrong lean at the turning becomes a great wrong distance very quickly. So take my word tonight over the evidence of all those years, the way a sailor in the dark trusts the star he cannot touch over the waves he can feel. The waves are loud and near and real. The star is silent and far and true. Steer by the star, my child. What you have heard today is only the beginning. There is more I want to show you in the days ahead. Follow this channel so you can walk the rest of this journey with me. because I am not finished speaking over your life. Now let me show you what is arriving, my beloved, because I promised you a word greater than anything you dared ask. And here it is, and it comes in 3 streams. The first stream is sudden favor, my child. Doors are going to open that you never knocked on. People are going to find you on their minds for reasons they cannot fully explain, and think of you, and speak of you, and reach for you at the very hour you had stopped expecting anyone to. A name you had forgotten will surface in a room you are not in, spoken by a mouth you did not ask to speak it, and doors will move because of it. I go ahead of you into rooms you have not yet entered, and I speak your name in them before you arrive, so that by the time you walk through the door, the ground has already been prepared. You have spent years knocking, my child. This season you will find doors that were opened before your hand ever reached them. What striving could not buy you in a decade, alignment will hand you in a single afternoon, and you will know it was me and not your own effort, because your effort was never enough to explain it. Type "my hand is open" in the comments, because favor flows to an open hand and pools in a closed one, and I want yours ready to receive. The second stream is restoration, my beloved. What was taken from you is going to return, and it will return increased, not merely replaced. The years the devourer ate out of your life, I am repaying. Joel 2 verse 25 is my own promise on this. And I will restore to you the years that the locust hath eaten, the cankerworm and the caterpillar, and the palmer worm, my great army which I sent among you. Even the dreams you buried, the ones you decided were foolish and covered over with dirt so you would stop hoping, even those are going to stir and rise, my child, though they will rise in a wiser form than the one you buried, purified of the thing that would have poisoned them the first time. And some of the mendings you have stopped praying for will find you without your asking. But hear me carefully, my beloved, because I restore what I ordain, and only what I ordain. Not everything that left your life was a theft. Some of it was a rescue, and you have been grieving as loss what was actually deliverance. What was taken from you as protection stays gone. And one day you will stand in the good that came of its absence, and you will thank me for the emptiness where it used to be, the emptiness you once wept over. So do not go back and try to reopen with your own hands the doors I closed with mine. Trust my hand in the keeping as much as in the giving. A father who only ever gives and never withholds is not a good father, my child. He is an indulgent one, and I love you too well to be only that. The third stream is deep peace, my child, and for you this may be the sweetest of the 3, that tight band across your chest that has been there so long you stopped noticing it, that knot beneath your ribs, those thoughts that circle your bed at night and will not let you down into sleep. My child, none of that is your inheritance. You were not born to carry it, and you were not saved to keep it. You are going to wake up one ordinary morning, and the dread simply will not arrive. You will wait for it out of habit, the way you always have, standing at the edge of the morning braced for the familiar drop in your stomach, and it will not come, and you will not even be sure at first what is different. You will move through half the day before you realize the weight you always carry was simply not there when you woke. That is not a trick of a good mood, my child. That is a band being cut. That is a knot I am untying in the dark while you sleep, one loop at a time, on nights you will never remember. And that accusing voice, the one that has told you for years that you are too late, too flawed, too far behind everyone else to ever catch up, the one that speaks in your own voice so you will mistake it for your own honest judgment. Its time is up. I am revoking its license to speak over your life. It has told you its last lie. Watch for the first evidence of these 3 streams before this present season fully turns. It comes sooner than you think. And here is my love warning to you, my beloved, so that nothing catches you off guard. When you walk out of this hour, the old thought is going to knock again, and it will be wearing new clothes so you do not recognize it at the door. It may come as a memory that makes you doubt everything I said tonight. It may come as a reason, an excellent one, to believe the correction was too heavy or the promise too good when it knocks. Do not read it as my absence. It is not me leaving, and it is not a sign that tonight was not real. It is the examination that always follows the lesson, the test that comes after the teaching to see whether the thing was learned and kept, or only heard and admired. Every truth you receive gets tested. my beloved, not to break you but to root you, because a truth that has been tested and held is a truth that finally belongs to you. So do not be afraid of it, my child. Fear is exactly what it comes hunting for, because fear will make you open the door just to make the knocking stop. Do not open it, my child. A thought that has to knock again has already lost the room. And it knows it, which is why it knocks so loudly. Recognize it, name it out loud if you have to, and shut the door the way I taught you tonight, with my peace as the latch and my word as the bolt. Type "the door is shut" in the comments, and say it like one who is standing on the safe side of it. Because when you declare it shut, you agree with the hand that already closed it. And a door sealed in heaven does not swing open again on earth. And this blessing that is coming, my beloved, hear why I am sending it, because if you misread the purpose, you will misuse the gift. It is not sent to build a higher wall around a fuller house. It is not for hoarding. It is sent to pass through you, to reach the souls still standing in their own long winter, the ones for whom no door has opened yet. Freely you have received tonight, and freely you are to give. Luke 6 verse 38 tells you the measure I use. Give, and it shall be given unto you. Good measure, pressed down, and shaken together, and running over, shall men give into your bosom. For with the same measure that ye meet withal, it shall be measured to you again. The measure you use, my child, becomes the measure used for you, and keep the same nearness to me in the harvest that you learned in the famine. My people once forgot me in their fat years, remembered me only in their want, and it cost them everything. Do not repeat their story, and do not grow weary in the stretch between the word and its fulfillment. My child, in the days after tonight, when the streams have been promised but not yet seen, that stretch is where most of my children faint, not in the famine and not in the harvest, but in the waiting between the two, when the promise feels far and the evidence feels thin. Galatians 6, verse 9 is my charge to you for that stretch. And let us not be weary in well-doing, for in due season we shall reap, if we faint not in due season, my beloved. Not in your season, not on the timeline your fear keeps drawing, but in the season I have already appointed and already prepared. Do not faint at the edge of the very thing you prayed years to see, my beloved. The goal of all of this was never the 3 streams. The goal was the fountain they flow from, which is me. The streams can be taken, the fountain never can. And if you are ever forced to choose between what fills your hands and what fills your soul, my beloved, choose me, and you will not have lost a thing, because everything else was only ever flowing out of me to begin with. And I want you to know why this word reached you all the way to its end, my child. Because you did not skip it. When the hard part came, the part that made you want to close it and walk away, and it did make you want to, you stayed anyway. When I named the thing no one else would name, you let me name it instead of shutting the door on me the moment I got close. Heaven holds something in reserve for the ones who stay for the part that costs them something. Many closed this message the moment I stopped comforting and started correcting, because the correction made it real, and real is harder to scroll away from than comfort ever was. You did not close it. You let the hard word land where it needed to land, in the exact place you had been protecting, and you are still here. That is you tonight, my beloved. What comes next was already prepared for you, held back specifically for the ones who would not flinch away from being told the truth in love. But it required this. It required you to stop and hear the hard word and not look away from it. So hear the promise beneath all the promises now. My child, the one the whole hour was built to bring you to. You are chosen, my beloved, not favored in some vague and general way, not merely tolerated, not one face in a crowd that heaven waves at from a distance. Chosen deliberately, by name, for a work that has your name written on it and no one else's. Ephesians 2 verse 10 says it plainly. For we are his workmanship, created in Christ Jesus unto good works, which God hath before ordained that we should walk in them. Before ordained, my beloved, prepared in advance before you stumbled, before you drifted, waiting for you still. Comfort was never the purpose of your life, my child. Commissioning is. And I want you to notice something about the ones I have always chosen, because it will free you from the lie that your failure disqualified you. I have never once chosen the polished. I chose a stammering man who had fled the country for his crime and could barely speak in public, and I made him the voice that freed a nation. I chose a shepherd boy so overlooked that his own father did not think to call him in from the field when the prophet came, and I made him a king. I chose a fisherman whose courage failed him so completely that he denied he even knew me 3 times. In one night, warming his hands at a stranger's fire while I was led away, and I did not cross him off. I restored him beside another fire, and I built my church on him. Look at that list, my beloved. A man undone by his temper, a boy his own family overlooked, a friend who broke under pressure at the worst possible hour. Not one of them was chosen after they had proven themselves. Every one of them was chosen before and corrected along the way and used anyway. And the correction was never the end of the story. It was the middle of it. I choose the willing, my child, and I do the polishing myself, and I very often do it through the exact corrections they were certain would disqualify them. That is what tonight was. You thought this hour proved you had fallen out of my favor. It proved the opposite. I do not sharpen tools I have set aside. I sharpen the ones I am about to use. Type I receive it in the comments, and receive it as one who already knows it is done, not one who is hoping it might be true. So here is your charge, my beloved, the way you walk out of this hour, and it is not heavy. Walk out different from how you walked in, my beloved. Keep the honesty you found tonight. Keep the pause you learned to build. Keep the gate of your attention guarded. Keep the hand open. The tests will come. I have already told you they will, and the old thought will knock again wearing clothes you do not recognize. When it does, stop, breathe, turn to me, and wait for the steadiness to return before you take a single step. And when you stumble again, and you will because you are still being made, do not vanish from me for weeks the way you did before. Do not go quiet and let the shame build a wall between us stone by stone. Come at once. Come mid-fall if you can manage it before you have even finished the falling, because there is no wrong you can do on the way down that reaches me faster than you can turn your face back toward me. The door is not locked from my side, my child. It never has been, and it never will be. It was only ever locked from yours by a shame that told you to fix yourself before you were allowed to come home, and that shame was a liar from the beginning. There is a way marked out for you now, and even when you cannot see it clearly, you will hear it. Isaiah 30 verse 21 is my promise on that. And thine ears shall hear a word behind thee, saying, This is the way, walk ye in it, when ye turn to the right hand, and when ye turn to the left. I will speak from behind you when you drift, my beloved. You will not be left to find the road alone. And as you walk, be a signpost for the ones you carry in your prayers, the ones still in their winter. Some words are preached from a distance. The best ones are simply lived where people can see them. So hear how it all stands now, my beloved, before I let you go. The wrong turn is confessed, and it is covered. The door is shut, and it is sealed. The pattern is named, and it is broken while the root was still shallow. The years have been read back to you rightly at last, as fallow and not forgotten. The 3 streams are already on their way to you, my child, favor and restoration and deep peace. And above all of it, higher than all of it, you are chosen. And the assignment I wrote over you is still real and still waiting. So rise now, my child. Lift your head. Stop studying the ground where you fell. I am before you to lead. I am behind you to guard the way you came, and I am within you to make you able to do the very thing you were sure you could not. And I have staked all of it on my own word, which has never once come back to me with nothing to show. Isaiah 55, verse 11 is my bond on everything I have spoken tonight. So shall my word be that goeth forth out of my mouth. It shall not return unto me void, but it shall accomplish that which I please, and it shall prosper in the thing whereto I sent it. And I sent this word to you. Now hold in your mind the one thing you are believing me for. My beloved, the single hope you have kept quiet even from yourself. If your hand is open tonight, you can sow a final seed of faith toward it through the link in the description below. Not as one buying an answer, but as one who has finally stopped guarding themselves against their own father. And whether you sow a seed or simply stay here with an open heart, hear my blessing over you. May the 3 streams find you at your own threshold, May favor reach you in rooms you have not yet entered, my beloved. May the years the locust took come back to you increased. May the tight band across your chest loosen in the night and never return. May the door stay shut behind you and my hand stay on the latch, and may you walk out of this hour on your own 2 feet, upright, forgiven, corrected, and commissioned. A son with an open hand, a child who came back for the one word the darkness worked hardest to keep from you. The way behind you is closed. The way ahead of you is opening, and I am on both ends of it, and in the middle of it with you. Rise. My beloved, lift your head. It starts here. Amen.